I feel like it's
You want to take that?
I feel like
Go ahead.
this yeah, what up?
Hello?
I'm doing an interview right now.
Okay.
All right. It was Shorty.
Yeah. I wanted to say hi, but I was just.
Yeah, you should have.
I should have.
Yeah.
I've been taking risks my whole life. We took the highest risk already in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So some of these risks we taking now, I don't even look at them as big risks. You say you print money every day.
Yeah.
You lose some money, you get it back. We come from where the things you lose, you couldn't get back. You can't get time back from your freedom. You can't get your life back. We come from taking them type of risks.
I don't even fly private.
You don't?
Nah,
I heard that.
I can't afford that. I fly first class.
Yeah, I heard
I'm
that.
keeping my paper.
Yeah, you said I can't afford it.
Nah,
Well, you know you can, but you can't afford it.
can't afford it like up here. I don't get it.
You don't see it, huh?
Nah.
You like, man, we all going to the same place. What about any of your artists? Do they fly private?
I'm
They straight-
only fly private.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like it's
You want to take
I
that?
feel like
Go ahead.
this yeah, what up?
Hello?
I'm doing an interview right now.
Okay.
All right. It was Shorty.
Yeah. I wanted to say hi, but I was just.
Yeah, you should have.
I should have.
Yeah. It ain't always about the money all the time.
I got money.
Really, when you in the same game, I think a lot of young niggas need to understand that they're like, relationships and shit like that is way more important than money. Money comes and go. You gonna spend this shit quick as you make it. You know what I'm saying? Right relationship lasts forever.
And I looked into this beef. I was really trying to figure out the Yo Gotti Young Dolph beef. Supposedly.
Right.
Some people say it was over a girl. Some people say Gotti wanted to sign Dolph and Dolph didn't want to sign.
Right.
Some people say, well, both of them had crews that were into some street shit or whatever. All this sounds very unnecessary for it to turn to murder and life sentences.
Did you buy a tour bus for yourself early on?
That was one of the worst mistakes I did though.
Why?
I went on tour with G-Eazy, me, G-Eazy, and YG. I got the quote on the bus how much it cost to rent it for the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it. Trying to be
Right.
a hustler, knowing numbers.
Business minded.
And the bus broke down first show. You know what I'm saying? On the way to the first show, bus broke down. Got it fixed. By the third or fourth show, it broke down again.
Oh.
I was gonna rent it for like 90-something thousand.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm calling them a 400, 450 or whatever. It's way easier to make the money than it is to save it. So to get to the million, one, you gotta know how to save. Cause you could have made $1 million, but you blew it as you were making it.
Right.
So that's why I say it's way easier to make the money than it is
To save it.
to save the money. Most people probably have $1 million if their money management skills was right. You know what I'm saying? But they spending the money fast as they get it. You get a couple $100,000, you go buy a $100,000 watch. You spend half your money on a watch.
What really happened with Big Joke's murder is darker than anyone imagined. If you think Memphis rap is all flashy videos and sold-out shows, think again. Behind the music, there's power, influence, and consequences that go far beyond the studio. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intense and shocking stories in hip-hop, the violent chain of events surrounding Big Joke, BEO Lil Kenny, and the ongoing Memphis rap war. If you've been following the streets or the music, you might know a few pieces of this puzzle, but the full picture, that's something most people haven't seen. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this story isn't just about music, it's about survival, street politics, and the ultimate cost of loyalty. BEO Lil Kenny wasn't your average rapper. Standing just 5'3" and weighing barely 120 pounds, he didn't look like much, but in the streets, size isn't everything. Reputation, boldness, and fearlessness can be just as powerful, and Kenny had all three. The footage that went viral a while back showed Kenny being dragged out of some bushes by authorities, and honestly, it looked like he was more annoyed than scared. He later posted online saying, "I was comfortable as number in them bushes. They had to drag me out. We was going to be there till timber waiting on me to surrender." That alone tells you a lot about the man. He wasn't running blindly. He calculated, he played games, and he knew the streets better than most. But here's where it gets even more dangerous. Kenny had a habit of self-snitching in his music. Lyrics that seemed like bragging or street flexes weren't just entertainment, they were admissions. Tracks dropped shortly after Big Jook's murder included lines so specific and incriminating that the streets were talking before the police even knew what happened. He described the scene in detail, talked about executing moves like bounty hunters, and even referenced the presence of Big Jook's mother during the attack. That's not just careless bragging, that's evidence. Before we go deeper into Kenny, let's talk about Big Jook. People often talk about Yo Gotti, but rarely about his brother. Big Jook wasn't just family, he was the backbone of the CMG empire. He was the ear to the streets, the enforcer, and the guy who kept things moving while Gotti handled the music side. He had the knowledge, the network, and the muscle to make things happen, and everyone in Memphis knew it. Big Jook didn't just watch the streets, he controlled them. He had the power to coordinate operations, make calls, and enforce loyalty. That kind of influence comes with risk. And in Memphis, when you hold that much power, enemies are waiting and mistakes are deadly. By the time young Dolph was being targeted, Big Jook had already made a choice that would seal his fate. Street code says you protect your family and your empire, but in doing so, you put yourself directly in the line of fire. This wasn't just a rap rivalry, this was a full-blown street war that ran deeper than most fans realize. It all began back in 2010 on Thanksgiving weekend, outside Level 2 nightclub. Yo Gotti and OG Boo Dirty, who had connections to Young Dolph's crew, got into an altercation that ended with 6 people getting shot. Real bullets, real consequences. Fast forward a few years, and the conflict escalated. Corey McClendon, who was arrested alongside Yo Gotti in that early incident, would later be tied to Young Dolph's attempted murder in Hollywood in 2017. This shows how long and deep these rivalries run. Some of the same players have been at it for over a decade. And then there's Gucci Mane. In 2012, he publicly called out Yo Gotti, claiming Gotti tried to ride his wave by releasing a mixtape on the same day as Gucci's official project. Young Dolph was sitting right there, witnessing the disrespect, and that moment forged an alliance that would have deadly consequences years later. What started as music tension had grown into something far more dangerous: real street retaliation. In 2017, Young Dolph survived a shooting in Charlotte that investigators later tied back to Yo Gotti's camp. Over 100 rounds fired at his car, and Dolph made it out alive. That wasn't just a warning, it was a statement. The streets saw it as a full-scale war in the making, and loyalties were being tested. By 2021, Young Dolph's murder marked a turning point. Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother, had reportedly placed a serious bag, a bounty, on Dolph's head. In street terms, putting a bag on someone is more than threatening. They were effectively signing their own death warrant if that person had loyal allies. And Dolph had real ones. The retaliation was inevitable. Big Jook's role here was crucial. He wasn't just a brother protecting family honor, he was orchestrating moves, coordinating communication, and essentially masterminding operations while maintaining Yo Gotti's presence in the streets. That kind of responsibility put him directly in the crosshairs. Then came January 13th, 2024. Big Jook left Piran's restaurant in Hickory Hill, and in broad daylight, he was ambushed. 2 men were shot, and Big Jook died at the scene. The other victim was airlifted in critical condition. What made it even worse? It happened in front of his mother. In street code, involving family, especially mothers, is the ultimate disrespect. But this was revenge, and revenge doesn't care about respect. Authorities confirmed that Big Jook was specifically targeted. Surveillance footage showed a calculated, planned hit. No robbery, no mistaken identity, it was precise. This was a message. The same networks that orchestrated Young Dolph's murder had identified Big Jook as the real power behind Yo Gotti's operations, and eliminating him was the ultimate strike. In Memphis, word travels fast. The streets knew of Big Jook's involvement in Dolph's death before the police did. Information moves faster than investigations, and justice in these circles is often immediate, brutal, and irreversible. This is where BEO Lil Kenny enters the story again. Social media and music tracks had essentially made him a walking witness. Authorities didn't need to guess. Kenny's own words laid out the scenario. The man who once flexed his comfort hiding in bushes became the subject of a federal investigation. His arrest: minor charges on paper, evading arrest, reckless driving, illegal window tint, and possession of a controlled substance. Bond was set at $10,000. But in reality, this was just the beginning. Authorities like to start small and build bigger cases, and Kenny's posts, combined with his music, gave them everything they needed. 8 extra hours in interrogation? That wasn't coincidence. Every lyric, every brag, and every post on social media fed into the puzzle connecting him to Big Jook's murder. The internet, as Kenny himself would admit, is a dangerous drug. It amplifies your presence, your actions, and your mistakes. This isn't just about Kenny or Big Jook or young Dolph. This is a pattern, a cycle of violence that has consumed Memphis for years. Young Dolph's death led to Big Jook's death, which now places Kenny in the crosshairs of law enforcement and the streets alike. Families have been destroyed, empires destabilized, and yet the cycle continues. Street justice doesn't wait for court dates, retaliation is immediate, and loyalty often comes with a fatal cost. Yo Gotti lost his brother, young Dolph's family lost their patriarch, and Kenny? His family might be about to face life-changing consequences as well, all because pride, power, and loyalty collided in ways that nobody could fully control. What can we take from all this? First, in Memphis rap and street culture, influence comes with risk. Being connected to power doesn't mean you're safe. Second, the digital age has changed everything. Social media isn't just for clout, it's evidence, and it can make you your own worst enemy. Finally, street politics are unforgiving. One decision, one move, and your life can be over. The story of BEO, Lil Kenny, Big Jook, and Young Dolph is a cautionary tale. It shows how the allure of power, combined with loyalty and pride, can spiral into a series of events that end in tragedy. And the question lingers, when will the violence end? How many more lives have to be lost before the cycle is broken? At the end of the day, Memphis is still buzzing. Social media is still debating, fans are still mourning, and the streets are still talking. BEO Lil Kenny may think he's just facing minor charges now, but the streets and the law are both watching. And Big Jook's death remains a stark reminder of the price of power, loyalty, and vengeance. What do you think will happen next? Will Kenny beat these charges, or is this just the start of a larger story? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share your perspective, and subscribe for more deep dives into the Memphis rap scene and the stories that never make the headlines.